Hey guys, welcome to my American Ninja Warrior National Finals LEGO set. This video will give you an inside look at what it took to make it into a reality. It has 752 LEGO bricks including 6 ninjas, 3 announcers, and a cameraman. It has many special features. I hope you can enjoy this very unique LEGO set. The original design that I had made consisted of 5 obstacles, as that's all I could fit. The obstacles were the ascending steps, propeller bar, double dipper, jumping spider, warp wall, and hitting the buzzer at the end. Since the ascending steps was on a qualifier finals course, I decided to replace with snake run and make the double dipper much smaller. When I start making any obstacles, I usually just start from scratch. I make the obstacles of anything I might have in any color, and then once I get an obstacle that I like, I will change the colors as a last step. My original domino pipes rotated on turntables on either side, but I could only fit 2 as they took up so much space. The domino pipes eventually changed to this, 2 1x8 bricks with a bunch of pins that would spin in the middle. Once I had a basis for the domino pipes, I attached a 1x1 Technique brick in the middle that also spins, so I could attach a minifigure later. I did this to try to make the obstacle more functional. I knew I needed a tower that would hold the buzzer, flying squirrel, and cargo net. I held the flying squirrel up by an axle that went in the middle. In a little over a month, this LEGO Ninja Warrior course went through many stages to try to make sure that all 8 obstacles fit on a 16x16 plate. At this point, the Ninja Warrior course is done, but I wasn't happy with it. I used black, which is an easy to find color with LEGO, but it wasn't accurate. In American Ninja Warrior, the rigs are gray. The only thing that is really black are the mats that people land on. The reason I started with black is because gray support structures are more expensive and harder to find. The last gray support structures that were made that I was looking for are only found in 12 LEGO sets, and the last time they were used was 2012. I had the parts already, as I've used them in the past, and chose to be accurate instead of going back and using black. The next step was replacing all black parts to fit a more accurate style with the gray. As I made the switch to the gray, I started moving minifigures around to see what worked, what didn't. They do look like they're having fun though. If you look in this picture towards the flying squirrel, I moved from 1 axle in the middle to 2 axles on either side, which gave the opportunity for the minifig to travel up the cargo net without getting that axle in the way. So I wanted to have a really special feature in this Ninja Warrior course, not just having the obstacles and the ninjas on the course and everything functional. I wanted the buzzer to actually light up. So what I did is I did some research, I went online, I saw some ideas on how to make light bricks or things that would light up using cables and batteries, and it needed to be small. So what I did was I went to the LEGO store nearby in town, and I kind of asked for some advice. And what they said is the best thing I could do is use a light brick. Light brick's very small, compact, it uses a little battery, a little light, no cords. And what I ended up doing is I bought a small light brick off of a set that I had bought, took it out, and I used that little light brick to make the buzzer light up. I was very happy to get the buzzer to light up, but now I had the problem of trying to figure out how I can get it in my set and kind of covered up so that all I would see is the buzzer lighting up. The idea for the light brick actually came from a LEGO Friendship Box 41346, where you press the button of the camera and a switch hits the light brick, which makes the lens light up. But I wanted my buzzer to just light up by pressing it, like it does on the show. So I didn't want any extra switches, so my idea was to try to make the light brick and the buzzer to just light up by touching it. In this video, the buzzer isn't really being held up by anything, but it's working. As you can see in this picture, the buzzer is lit up, and there are 2 axles sticking out that will hold up the flying squirrel. Now the difficulty with this is that the 2 axles that are holding the flying squirrel cannot be in the way of the light brick and the buzzer contraptions that are inside. I did not show the inside of the buzzer. Vote for the set and maybe the plans will be revealed. I switched the two 1x8 Technique bricks that are on either side of the domino pipes to red, as it looked better. If you look at other pictures of my LEGO Ninja course throughout this video, I didn't use any extra bricks to add water. I just had the 16x16 plate that was blue be the water. But at this point I decided I wanted to add additional water bricks, which I used a transparent light blue, as you can see at the bottom of this picture. There's two propellers in this picture. The propeller on the right is actually painted. I painted the middle part of it brown from a red propeller. The light brick that I used earlier was a yellow light brick. I didn't realize they came in red. So if you look at my previous pictures of the announcer station, it's a very basic station. It's just a flat plate that I used with a bunch of 1x8 bricks that were stacked on top, and then I used a banner on the backdrop. But I wanted to change it so that it actually looked like an announcer station. So this is the process that it took to make that announcer station, and in this case I'm working on the lights to see what lights might work. I used two roller coaster tracks for the rigs behind the announcer station, but since it had to fit with the jumping spider and it was a small area, it was only 7 and 8 studs across. I had to use studs to make it work. At this point I added some accessories like little lights and little cameras. The lights would spin around and rotate. Those flames you see, there are two of them, are kind of pyrotechnics. In Stage 2 of American Ninja Warrior, they use a lot of flames if you watch some of the runs. But in Stage 1, as far as I know, they don't use them. So I decided to take them out of the original set of adding them in. The announcer station has a sign that's 8 sides for Ninja Warrior. So I made my own 8-sided 5-piece sign. This is what it first looked like, but LEGO wanted to make sure that my decal only went on one piece, not more than one piece unless I used multiple decals. So I had to make another sign. I would use 3 decals on 3 pieces that would make an 8-sided sign. Just before I submit my set, I wanted to make a few additions. One was adding a television. So if you look on the course, when they're swinging from the last obstacle, the flying squirrel, to the cargo net, there's a TV. It's a giant TV that clocks. It's a clock, and it's counting down. And a lot of times the ninjas either have a good amount of time, like 25 seconds, or they have 10 seconds or under, and then they run out of time if they can't hit the buzzer. So I wanted to add this giant TV and give the LEGO builders an option to either use a 10-second you're running on a time clock, or 25-second you have a little bit more time to climb up the cargo net and hit that buzzer. So this is one of the additions that I made. The other change I made was at the final buzzer. I didn't do anything different to the buzzer, but those final gates, when they open, I had one smoke brick underneath them, but they were really tall and kind of ugly looking. And so what I ended up doing is I moved them lower. I put the smoke on top of the gates and added 2 sparks. Now, it's not exactly accurate. Actually, this year was the year that I saw sparks and smoke in 2018. But last year I only saw smoke in the video. But I wanted to add a little bit more effect to it. The other thing I added was for the cameraman, I wanted him to kind of swing around and kind of look at the course, because a lot of people are going to look at this build and say, hey, why don't you have more cameramen? Why aren't there more cameras around the course? It's a show, a TV show, and that's something that we can add later, but with the amount of minifigures that I added in this set, I didn't want to overload because I already felt like I was overloading. So I wanted him to swing out so he could do more than just film the buzzer. I wanted him to film the entire course by where he was standing. My sister is a professional photographer at theflashladyphotography.com. She donated her time to take some pictures of my National Finals American Ninja Warrior set.